rules. There's only 2 rule changes for the entire rule book. One involves a disqualification or a caution on a card, and it involves a substitution rule. And the other rule change involves goalkeepers about their socks, about what kind of socks they need to wear. We have a 10-minute CD that's going to go over that, but the most important is there's 5 points of emphasis that they're going to go over: heat and safety, fighting and reckless play, tape or similar materials on socks, communication, and goal kicks. So there's about a 10-minute CD here that we'll play. Let's play through, and then once it's over, I'll take any questions on any of the rule changes or points of emphasis. All right.
To the basic rules of soccer, the NFHS rules book focuses on player participation and safety. The NFHS encourages as many athletes as possible to have the opportunity to gain valuable life lessons from participating in interscholastic soccer. One example is the substitution rule, which has been modified this year. It provides new opportunities for coaches and players a greater opportunity to enter the game. The second emphasis, and equally as important, is safety. NFHS does everything possible to promote a safe environment for all players. Online training programs such as concussion training provide coaches and referees with important information. They should use this information to make sure players do not participate when injured. NFHS emphasizes that player safety is far more important than wins or losses. No player should be in the game when injured. The 2013-14 NFHS High School Athletics Participation Survey indicated that soccer is the 5th most popular sport for boys at the high school level, with 417,419 participants, and the 4th most popular sport for girls, with 374,564 participants. This means that just short of 800,000 student athletes are enjoying the game. It is imperative that every coach, administrator, and official make the game a positive experience for these athletes. Now I would like to introduce Bill Johnson, NFHS Rules Committee Chairman, who will review this year's rules changes and points of emphasis.
Thanks, Mark. This year, after careful deliberation, the Rules Committee made only 2 modifications to the rules. The first, as Mark mentioned, deals with Rule 3 substitution. Article 3 has been revised to add Section E, which indicates that either team may substitute an unlimited number of players, provided they've checked in per 3-4-1D, when any bench personnel is cautioned or disqualified. Previously, there was no provision for the substitutes to enter the field of play during this type of stoppage. Since the clock is stopped, this is now consistent with substitution procedures, game management principles, and commitment to student participation. The second change is to Rule 411H3 and deals with the goalkeeper uniform. The first change is merely a word adjustment to make the rule clearer. The word either has been replaced with opposing, so that the first sentence now reads, "The jersey of the goalkeeper shall be distinctly different from that of any teammate or opponent, except the opposing goalkeeper." An additional sentence has been incorporated into the rule that reads, "The socks of the goalkeeper are not required to be the same color as his or her teammates, but shall differ in color from their opponents." Currently, the jersey of the goalkeeper must be distinctly different in color from his or her teammates and opposing field players. To differentiate opponents, it is important that the goalkeeper's socks be included in this rule. In addition to the rules changes, the Soccer Rules Committee developed 5 points of emphasis for the 2015-2016 season. The first 2 deal directly with safety-related matters. The first is heat acclimatization and safety priorities. Coaches and officials must recognize that exertional heat stroke, or EHS, is a leading preventable cause of death among high school athletes. Coaches must know the importance of a formal preseason heat acclimatization plan, of having and implementing a specific hydration plan, keeping your athletes well hydrated and encouraging and providing ample opportunities for regular fluid replacement, of appropriately modifying activities in relation to the environmental heat stress and contributing individual risk factors such as illness, obesity, to keep athletes safe and performing well. For all members of the coaching staff to closely monitor all athletes during practice and training in the heat. Also, they need to recognize the signs and symptoms of developing heat illnesses. Coaches must also know the importance of and resources for establishing an emergency action plan and promptly implementing it in the case of suspected EHS or other medical emergencies.
The head referee or center referee has the authority to suspend play whenever the element dictates. If a game is being played in extreme heat, the game can be suspended for a water break. This is a safety-related matter, and again, a referee should err on the side of caution.
The second point of emphasis deals with fighting/reckless play. Players, coaches, game officials, and spectators must work together to model and demonstrate sportsmanship and fair play. The goal is to minimize risk and to maximize participation. Fighting and playing in a reckless manner has no place in interscholastic soccer.
Players must be given the opportunity to exhibit their skills. Officials have the responsibility of game management. It is imperative that officials do not condone reckless play. Fouls that are committed within the intent to injure an opponent must be dealt with quickly and seriously. If officials allow any type of reckless play, the chances of escalation and fighting will greatly increase. If a player acts in this manner, they must be cautioned or ejected. Again, player safety is the #1 priority.
Tape or similar materials on socks is being emphasized this year. If tape or a similar material, such as staves or straps, is applied externally to the socks, it must be a similar color as that part of the sock to which it is applied. In other words, the home team may use white tape or material, and the away team a color similar to the color of the socks.
A note to officials here. Remember, the head coach must advise the referee in advance that all players are properly equipped. This includes the tape on the socks. Preventative officiating methods should be used. If an official observes a problem with tape prior to the game, have it corrected before the game starts. This will eliminate the potential of issuing a caution for illegally equipped players.
Communication is a point of emphasis for officials. Game officials are encouraged to effectively communicate with one another as well as with players and coaches throughout the game.
Officials must communicate in a professional manner. Emotions cannot be brought into play when talking to players, coaches, or administrators. The most successful interscholastic officials are the ones who communicate effectively with players and coaches during the game and use this tool as part of overall game management.
The last point of emphasis deals with the goal kick. Players opposing the kicker shall remain outside the penalty area until the ball has cleared the penalty area.
Thanks, Bill and Mark. The NFHS Soccer Rules Committee works throughout the year to make sure the rules are appropriate for the high school game. Also, when there are questions about a ruling, both Mark and Bill do an outstanding job in providing the proper interpretation in a very timely manner. As Bill stated, one of the points of emphasis is communication. The officials' communication should begin before the referee team enters the field. A pregame by the officials will help them work together as a team during the match. Also, an initial meeting with the coaching staff from both teams prior to the game beginning should be kept short and the conversation minimal. The coaches are busy preparing their teams and do not have time to chit-chat with officials and share war stories or make comments about the opponents. Another critical use of communication during the pregame is with the timekeeper. The center or head referee must go over the duties and responsibilities with the timekeeper. This includes when to start the clock and when the clock is stopped, including after a goal is scored, when there is a caution or ejection, when a penalty kick is awarded, or any other time the referee signals a stoppage by crossing the hands overhead. If a referee fails to signal to stop the clock for a caution or ejection, the timekeeper should still do so. The next instruction is that the clock is restarted when the ball is properly put into play, not when the whistle sounds. Lastly, the timekeeper should be reminded that he/she must count down the last 10 seconds of each period to the nearest official or through a public address system. Once the timekeeper counts down to 0, the horn or other signal to end the game must be sounded. This is very important. If there is a shot on goal, the goal may be allowed or not allowed, depending on when time expires. Scorekeepers and the timekeeper should be reminded about how substitutes enter the game and, if necessary, when substitutes are permitted. This will prevent the horn sounding at an improper time and a team being denied the opportunity to put the ball back into play quickly. Communication during the game with players, coaches, and fellow officials greatly assists in game management. Many officials use the phrase that a quiet word to a player that is exhibiting improper behavior during the game goes a long way to prevent future problems. Every official has their own personality and has various methods of communication skills to assist with game management. It is important that no matter what method is used, it should be professional and in an appropriate manner. Proper and timely communication with coaches can also assist with game management. A quick word to a coach to resolve a potential conflict can prevent that coach from becoming a distractor to the game. This type of communication should not become a long debate. Debates and arguments never result in positive outcomes. Communication among officials is also critical. This could be eye contact, hand signals, or verbal exchanges. Teamwork is critical to success and the outcome of the game. Lastly, post-game communication by the officials should be limited to verifying and signing the scorebook, thanking the timekeeper and the scorekeeper for their assistance, and leaving the field as a team. Officials should not remain at the game site any longer than necessary. Also, this is when the lack of communication is the best policy. If spectators, news reporters, or others begin questioning the officiating team, each member should remain silent and depart professionally. Responses during this time will only result in misquotes and future problems for the officials. This concludes the 2015-16 NFHS Soccer Rules presentation. Thanks to Mark Koski and Bill Johnson for their hard work throughout the year and their commitment to high school soccer. Have a great year.
Right. Well, I know a lot of schools dealt with the heat already this week, right? So, we already got ahead of that. The most important thing is that in the pregame this year with the coaches and the officials, the state wants referees for the first 5 or 6 matches when they talk about properly equipped or asking the coaches to include the socks. Just to let you know. Apparently, when they get to the state tournament this year, teams that make it to the state, apparently it's going to be a big deal. So they want to be able to take care of that situation from the beginning. So how you choose to monitor it, you know, we'll come up with a plan. But apparently, they seem to want to make sure that we pay attention to that this year. Other than that, these 2 changes, like I said, are simple. The disqualification or a caution, clock is stopped. Doesn't matter both teams. If both teams have people that are already checked in and at the midfield, they are allowed to come in. Goalkeeper socks is pretty self-explanatory. Reckless play, violent play. I think we all know as coaches that that's the last thing that anybody wants to get into from a player standpoint. Coaches are officials. So it's conducive to both coaches and officials when they either coach the game or ref and manage the game, that the game is controlled from the very beginning. I think that's the most important thing. I think most coaches would agree that it's better to have the game controlled from the get-go than it is to try to reel the game back in the second half or something like that. I don't think any coach is going to say one way or the other. Now from the coaches, we have some other things going on, but if you have any questions at all pertaining to rules, as far as the 2 rules changes or points of emphasis or anything in general that you would like to ask from a referee standpoint, feel free.
Would you go with the goalkeeper soccer again? If they're wearing the same socks as their teammates, they're okay, as long as they're not wearing the same socks as the opposing team. Is that correct?
Can anybody help? You're correct. Is it? All right. Coaches.
Before you leave, two things. Number one, I'm the assigner, Dave Vitale. If you don't know me, if you want to take a shot at me, now's a good time. Number two, as a retired public school teacher, two words that I love to hear after a DVD was lastly and this concludes. Those are the two phrases that I got out of that DVD. Having attended many professional development over the years. So anybody wants to take a shot at me for any assignment questions, shoot them off.
Let me move out.
I know Legend High School, Blinders Field is for a week or two. Shifting some home games for their boys and girls varsity only. Some changes are going out. This is actually more to the referees than the coaches, because on the scheduling program, it won't show you that change. So if you're one of those guys or gals that prints a whole list, and you go to Legend High School because you have Legend Waterford and there's nobody there, well, you better figure it out because they're playing at Waterford. Other than that, one last thing I promise. The coaches are not to contact you, and you're not supposed to contact the coaches. You're supposed to contact your athletic director with any gripes, and then your athletic director is supposed to contact me. So the coaches know, although they do, the referees know, although they do, and the coaches know, although they do. That's what's supposed to happen. You shouldn't be contacting the referees. The referees shouldn't be having a dialogue with you after the game. Referees shouldn't be emailing you, telling you about some certain player that they didn't like the way they played. That's all. So if you have a problem, you have to go through the channels. It's not the old days. Just pick the phone up and blast at somebody. So you have to go to the athletic director. Good luck with that, but they're supposed to come to me, and then we're supposed to do it. Anything else? Missy?
Anything else? No, coaches, thank you so much. This concludes your portion of the meeting. Thank you. As soon as we leave, we will continue on. Please, referees, stay where you are.
And are there any other out-of-district referees besides the four that I have? The four that signed in, you can read. Another four, you can read.